West Ham have had an incredible transfer window. Let's leave where the money's come from and what implications it has for the future in terms of takeover and stuff like that. Let's leave all that to one side and we'll discuss it another day. Something occurred to me when we were doing our live transfer show on Transfer Deadline Day. I thought when I was doing it, and I was quite aware of where our spend was in comparison to other Premier League clubs. I knew Man United had spent a lot. I knew Chelsea had spent a lot. I thought we were probably third. What it hadn't occurred to me was quite how high up we'd gone in terms of our European spend. And actually, when you look around, and I don't claim, I didn't look, I probably should have done the, had a little look, but it's very late. As I record this now, it's whatever, 11:30 on Thursday night. I probably should have had a look, but I would imagine in terms of European giants, let's call them that, our spend is right up there and in excess of most of them. And when you put it like that, when you consider that actually we reached the European semi-final last season and we've gone on to spend an amount of money on transfers comparable with any of those top prestigious clubs, you know the clubs I'm talking about, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Barcelona, those sorts of clubs, it don't look too bad. It really doesn't. And for that reason, when Gio was asking about expectations for next season, I thought about it, and I thought about that Conference League, and I thought, you know what? There's actually no reason, not only why we shouldn't go for it, because I think we'll go for it. Moyes has shown he's got form to go for it, but why we shouldn't actually go and win it. Because it doesn't matter who you come up against. Whichever teams drop down from the Europa League, drop into the Conference League, don't they? Whatever happens there, actually, we should, particularly in terms of our spend, be a match for any of them. Is a team going to rock up that have spent more money than we have? No. It's not all about money, and I don't pretend that it is, but actually we were doing okay even without the money. What we've done is we've managed to supplement players, incredible players, by the way, like Declan Rice that we have, and actually bring some other incredible players to play alongside them. And I don't just think we'll be even better because of these magnificent signings we made, but we'll be better because players like Declan Rice and like Mikel Antonio are going to be fresher. Just have a little think about the signings we've made. Paqueta would be the marquee signing. Looks absolutely fantastic. He's going to bring another dynamic to the team. Gerd, we're still yet to feel the benefit of that. So we think we're good already. We're still going to hopefully have the benefit of another £35 million defender who has got a ridiculously good range of passing and is quick to bring him to our defensive line. That's going to be a real extra bounce that we're going to get hopefully later on in the season. I think everybody would agree, everyone that's seen him, that Kehrer is fantastic. I mean, far better than I ever thought he was. Didn't know anything about him. Not going to pretend that I did. My word, he looks absolutely amazing. I'm really looking forward to watching that develop. And when I say that develop, I thought for quite some time it was going to be a case of who plays alongside Kurt Zouma. Well, I'll tell you what, if Kehrer keeps playing the way he's playing, and by the way, Zuma's been playing well, I'm not saying he hasn't, but it might well be who plays alongside Kehrer. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. Scamacca, look, I know he had the sniffles for the last game, couldn't make the Tottenham game, but he looks good. I mean, he looks really, really good. I'm really excited to see the dynamic of that and what it's allowed to do. You see the reinvigorated Antonio. You're now seeing Said Benrahma really starting to come through and fulfil some of his potential. In terms of a transfer window, I think it's been absolutely amazing. And there's obviously players that I've missed out there as well. I mean, let's be fair. Areola, hell of a signing, right? Barely spoken about him. In those sort of terms, the future is pretty secure, really, in the goalkeeping department at least. Anyway, what I'm going to do today is you're going to get basically a couple of freebies. Earlier on in the week, myself and Gio in our player ratings, we discussed Kehrer in depth on our Patreon channel. You're going to get to watch it for free now. Now, the only thing that we'd ask you to do is maybe consider supporting the channel by joining Patreon. Basically, you've got this channel, the forum channel, which you get for free. You've got the main channel you get for free. The Patreon's a whole additional channel with loads and loads of different videos. And hopefully, if you watch our Transfer Deadline Day show, you'd have seen the Hamalytics there and you'd have seen Jack on there. We've got him on Patreon as well as our... we've got so much stuff, I can't even list it all. You get loads and loads of additional videos. It's a great way to help support the channel so as we can keep doing this as our jobs. Obviously, I'm not going to lie. There's the phrase. I'd like to keep doing it for a job, got to be honest with you. Anyway, That's enough begging from me. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of the video.
Now let's get on to the man of the match, Thilo Kehrer.
I don't know how much to give him because he did score an own goal. I'm not sure how high you can.
Oh,
rank
come
someone
on.
that
No,
scored
you
an own
can't
goal.
mark him down for that. Not at all. If then I'm going to mark him up that he stopped Son scoring.
Yeah,
I can get behind that pettiness.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give him a 9. I think I'm going to give him a 9. I don't think I can give him the full 10. I think so. I think I am marking him down for that. What a great performance! What I cannot believe this. It was the thing. Aside from the result and the fact that we're not at the bottom of the league, I think it's the thing I'm most pleased about. I didn't know about him. I think he was I mentioned in my video I uploaded this morning. I think he was possibly an accidental signing because of the Agurd injury and Diop insisting on leaving. And I'm just pleased we got him. I mean, if this wasn't our priority signing, why not? The money is crazy when you think about how little we've paid for him. But you're looking at absolute class in every facet of the game. And actually, a little bit's been made of his height. He's not like the fella at Man United, by the way. There was a point where he was stood next to Benrahma. He's significantly bigger than Benrahma, who you'd consider to be a small guy in the team. I don't know how tall he is. He's just not 6'4". I think that's the thing. He might be 5'11", 6 foot, something like that. But he's quite a slight frame as well. Do you know what? I'm glad he's not. We don't need another clogger in there. And I say that with the utmost respect for the big guys we got because we need those players. We really do. He's able to turn quickly, really turn quickly. He's going to be in that direction. He'll turn quickly and go back in the other one. Quick enough. I wouldn't say he's quicker than Song. Don't think he is. But he was quick enough to stay with him and force him wide. And that's really important because in other games, Son's just in on goal. Just love the way he wants to turn defence into attack quickly and not with a hoof. If he's a little incisive ball, he'll play it. I want him to continue playing there, and I hope it doesn't happen. But when it does, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do at fullback actually, because I just want to see him play more, and I think that's great. When you've got a player like that and you want to see them play even more. That's a really good sign. And I was even more pleased with what David Moyes said about him. Because sometimes you look at a player and you think, is Moyes seeing this? And Moyes actually said in one of the press conferences, he said, I think Kehrer had a really good 3 or 4 games for us. He looks really good. Brilliant.
Fantastic performance from him. I'm going to give him a 9. His passing is exceptional, comfortable with both feet. The first couple of games, he was so left-footed. I actually started debating if I always just thought I remembered him being right-footed. In the first couple of games for us, he seemed very left-footed heavy, and I thought, is he actually left-footed? Then last night, he's back using his right foot again. Hang on a minute, this guy can just play with either foot. It doesn't bother him. That pass, when Antonio hits the post, that pass from Kehrer is exceptional. He's got someone right behind him. He's facing a own goal. There's no one around him. 90% of defenders in Premier League pass that back to the keeper, and you won't convince me otherwise, but he doesn't. He gets his head up, whizzes it, and I mean whizzes it into Fornals' feet. Fornals takes one touch to give it to Benrahma, which ends up going to Antonio and hit the post. But that pass from Kehrer just opens up the Spurs a bit. And that's the type of pass we need Declan Rice and Thomas Souček to be doing. The one that bypasses through Spurs' midfielders. There you go. Got Sanchez in the book for it as well. His crossing at the end was the best crosses I've seen in the game. It's coming from our centre-back here. In a weird way, when we were going after a centre-back, I've had this theory, as I said to you on a couple of occasions, we must have alternatives to Nath Aguerd, that we've just not gone Aguerd and that's it. There's other people. So Kehrer, I am going to believe that he was on that list, perhaps the second or third choice, and that's why we've gone after him. This gets me excited to see how good Aguerd is, because if this is the one we've looked at Kehrer and thought, no, we're going to go for this one, and this is how good Kehrer is, then how good is actually Nath Aguerd? And at the minute, I'm convinced we played a back 3 last night. I've seen some people saying it's a back 4 and people complaining, why are we taking off Creswell and putting Ogbonna left back? I thought, well, I think I was watching a different game, because to me, Creswell was left centre back, so it made sense to do that substitution. So I'm assuming I am correct, because I believe I am, obviously. Then Creswell sort of, well, I do. I think it's a back 3. What I mean?
It's just a funny turn of phrase. I assume I'm correct because I think I am. No, that's, of course, it's your opinion. Why would you? Why would you not think that?
Yes, this is why I always argue with people. When I had I can't remember who it was. There was subscriber I had to argue with. We did the preview for the Villa game, and I said I wanted Creswell to start, and I think he's had a better season. And somebody replied to me and said, "You're wrong." I said, "Well, I'm not. It's my opinion.
That's what I believe.
You have a different opinion,
Yeah.
but I am not wrong. You know, it's my opinion. I can't be wrong." Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I had this conversation the other day about someone convincing me I didn't like music that I like. So no,
Yeah.
you can like different music, but you can't convince me. You can't convince me that I don't like the music I like. You know. Anyway, carry on.
My opinion is we played a back three last night, and you will not change my opinion on that either. From what I've seen, I'm pretty sure if I went and got heat maps and stuff, it would back up my theory as well.
And I'm
Now,
sure you
be
will,
crucial.
Gio. I'm sure.
No, I'm not that petty, but I am. But I don't have enough time. With the Chelsea game, if we didn't play until next week, I possibly would.
Yeah.
But we play on Saturdays. I'm gonna have to leave it be, and it's deadline day and stuff. So there's enough. There's too much content without me proving that was a back three. But my point was long-winded. Creswell's sort of the runner in the back three at the minute. When Aguerd's fit, or we may play Ogbonna there, we've got Ogbonna, Zuma, and Kerr. Kerr will be the one that's sort of given the license to roam forward. That will be exciting. His passing attributes is far too good for the centre back, and we could really benefit from having somebody that comes out and almost steps next to Declan Rice and Thomas Souček, and is not only capable of playing that pass, but is willing and brave enough to play that pass. Listen, I'm convinced some point this season, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets sent off because I think he's a bit rash when he goes into challenges. He can be a bit wild. And I'm also convinced that we're going to concede a couple of goals this season because he's going to do a pass that is risky and we're going to get caught out.
Sure.
But last night, that type of pass, when it works, is magnificent. I'm going to give him a 10, a solid performance. And I'm going to give Kurt Zouma an 8. I'm not going to go into too much details. Almost as good as Kerr, but distribution was probably the thing that stood out for me compared to the two, whereas Zouma defensively was just as good as Thilo Kerr. Brilliant performance from him. Was he at fault for the own goal? Possibly. I think there's three players that could... Well, when Moyes looks at it back, I'm pretty sure he's going to be dragging the three of them in, saying, look, this isn't good enough from you three. And Zuma's one of those players. I think he should have been the one that went with Harry Kane as soon as Kane went by Kulusevski. I think Zouma should be the one that goes with him rather than being static with Kulusevski. But I'm not going to mark him down for that per se. I think it's poor communication by the three of them. And a brilliant performance from him last night. And we've got two centre-backs with two real big performances, back-to-back games now. And that is promising heading into Saturday.
Yeah, and I'm really liking the blend. And I think this is really important in all your partnerships. If you play a front two, it's important to have two different kinds of striker. One to go short, one to running behind. Same with central midfield. And ideally, if you can, at centre-back, if you can have one that's completely dominant in the air and very attritional, and then another one that's sort of quicker and a ball-playing centre-back, that's your ideal partnership right there. It has been for quite some time. And looks like we've got the makings of that there. I thought Zouma was right up for it in the air as well. I fancy. I did see him follow Kane on a couple of occasions into midfield as well, which I know you discussed it. And when it was happening, I was thinking of you and your observations in the preview, and thought, yeah, okay, he's going with him to such an extent. At one point, he went so far that Declan Rice dropped in and filled in at centre back. And I was worried about it, but I thought actually I can see Declan drop back. But actually, there is a plan there. Fine, if this is part of the tactics. Clearly, Moyes said follow him. When he goes, follow him. Obviously, and that's why Kane at points was then trying to, I was going to say pull off Cresswell. Would have got a red card for that and a 3-game ban. But he was trying to
3 games, is that all?
It depends if Cresswell likes it or not. But I certainly felt he was trying to position himself against Cresswell. That's just as bad, isn't it? Positioning himself against Cresswell. Anyway, so sorry, I've lost my train of thought. All this positioning and pulling off and everything. Basically, I thought he had identified that maybe Zouma wasn't the guy to go up against. So I think Kane thought he'd try his luck elsewhere, Gio. A really dominant performance, I felt, from Zouma, though. And yeah, pleased to see him back. And funny, we're not talking about him being broken today. Funny enough, I still think he does have those little injury concerns, and it'd be nice if he can get a little rest just to sort them out or whatever. Go and see the doctor. get an ibuprofen or whatever it is he needs to do. But I'll give it. Did I say I've given him an 8 as well?
So if you like what you see, then why not check out that link in the description below, patreon.com/HammersChat. It helps us out massively while giving you loads of extra videos, including this week, a Q&A with Harry Redknapp. Yes, that is actually happening. And the only way you can see it is by checking out that link. Have a gander, have a peruse, see how you feel. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks.